Instructions in the dressing room. I want a good, clean fight. When I say break, you step back. Protect yourself at all times. Touch gloves.
Stalk him and come in close.
Exactly, that's what Romano has to do. I like to see maybe try to get inside behind the jab, but move that head anyway. You can't, against a guy long like Carman, you can't just stand there with your head still not moving, because you're just going to be, the victim of some target practice.
Carman drops the left hand to throw for the uppercut.
Very old school. It's like almost like a bolo punch. Against a seasoned professional, I wouldn't necessarily try that because it's easy to be countered over. But he seems to throw it very naturally, so it's tough to unkeep something like that.
You talked about the key for Romano being a little slighter in size, is to get inside of Dillon. Dillon's got him against the ropes. They tie up in the clinch, and
Dillon looks very comfortable fighting on the inside, though. It doesn't look like he's out of sorts if the action gets there. He seems very keen to throw to the body. Probably, though, you're just giving your opponent a slight glimmer of hope where he might not have any otherwise.
Dillon throwing the punches from both sides coming out of the corner, turns his opponent back into the corner, and Romano will set things back in the center of the ring.
And looking at Dillon Carman, I love the angles that he's using because the punches are coming from every which direction. And you know what? It's the punch that you can't see that'll hurt you. And he's throwing from angles that probably a lot of opponents haven't seen before.
Romano tries to come out with a left opened up, and Dillon Carman caught him with a big one over top.
Yeah,
Carman's
it's a good
got
left
him against the ropes.
Exactly.
Doing damage off with lefts and rights.
And there's the bolo punch as well. You got to like what you're seeing out of Carman so far.
Got to recognize, though, it is the first round. You don't want to punch yourself out this early on.
No, but it's a 4-round fight, so you know you can't save yourself for the later rounds too much because there aren't any later rounds.
Carman takes the quick left jab to the chin, able to roll off that in the corner and back to the middle of the ring.
Carman, though, beginning to breathe a little heavy, mouth's open a little. You just got, you got to grit down, grit your teeth, and just run through it. If you're tired, it's 4 rounds. You got to suck it up and get through it. But he's the one throwing, and he's the one landing.
Yep. So the end of the first round, and the aggressor definitely was Dillon Carman, the Mississauga native, who shows well in his opening round debut at home.
I like the pose. I like the pose. Double up on the jab.
There you see Chris Johnson talking to Dillon Carman. Johnson, of course, one of the best coaches, not only in Canada, but really the world coach. Steve Mulder, the Mulder's world title, 2 world titles. And a guy that if you're going to send a youngster into the sport of boxing with, someone that I would choose probably above anyone else in this country.
How concerned would you be, being Dillon Carman's coach, that the hands were low for most of that first round, although he was connecting?
The technique isn't textbook, but he throws it very naturally. And he throws it with conviction as well. If you're hardwired to do that and it's not a liability, why unteach it? Go with your fighter's strengths. And right now, Carman is showing a lot of them in that ring.
Comes over the top with the right. Romano pushes him back into the ropes.
And we're really not seeing much out of Romano. The hands aren't moving. He's moving forward. Clearly he's tough, but we're not seeing anything other than that toughness through 1 and a bit rounds here tonight.
Well, early on in this second round, all we've seen is that he can take a punch. Good combination, again, throws the left and glancing blow off the side of Romano's head. Romano gets in tight in the corner.
And that's what Romano's got to do. He's got, even if he's not landing effective shots on the inside, muscle Dillon around that ring. Turn this into something ugly, because if he lets Dillon stand and throw, he's got no hope tonight.
Yeah, Carman Dillon's got that big long reach and has been able to keep Sergio Romano at bay for the better part of this round and a half.
And he's done a great job of taking advantage of his natural skill set. He's tall and long, and he's spot tall and long tonight, and it suited him very well so far.
And he's using that height advantage to his advantage, coming over the top with that right hand. Sizing up the opponent right now, and Romano tries to go in underneath.
We saw Dillon very comfortable on the inside, almost happy to mix it up on the inside, which is fine too. I mean, if you feel comfortable enough that you can stand and trade with a guy that is in a better position strategically than you, I think that's fine. If it suits your style, and it seems to suit Carman Dillon's style very well.
Early on, the game plan for Sergio Romano seems to be trying to back Carman Dillon into a corner and then just muscle him with some rights. But
he is, but he's not. He's not stalking him. He's just kind of following him. He's not cutting the ring off. He's just kind of following him, which really plays into Dillon Carman's game plan, because he's able to counter him. He's able to move around. If you cut off the ring effectively, you make lateral movement difficult. And right now, Romano is just following him around like a dog on a leash.
Tried to come over top of the left hand and missed that one. Nice job by Carman to get out of the way and move back to the center of the ring. They tie up once again. Carman trying to punch his way out of the corner. That does it for round number 2. Well, Dillon Carman picks up round number 2 like he finished off round number 1.
Yeah, very impressive, very comfortable in any part of the ring. If you saw him at the end of the round with his back to the ropes now, you would think that's not the position you want him to be in, but he acquitted himself very well. Even though strategically it's not where he wanted to be, he seemed very comfortable in that position.
Through 2 rounds now at the midway point of this fight. Sergio Romano's got to change the game plan right now.
I'm not sure he has a plan B, because I'm not really seeing a plan A out of him. So the game plan seems to be get out of here in one piece and catch your flight home. I'd like to see him move his head a little, get in behind a jab. If you're the shorter guy, you have to get inside. If you don't have the cover of a jab to do that, you're just open to be pot-shotted all fight long, and that's what we're seeing out of this fight so far.
And for Romano, the few big shots that he's gone for, he's clearly missed.
Yeah, well, he hasn't landed with any accuracy. He hasn't put himself in a position to land. He fired the left hand into the blow right there. That's what he needs to do. He has to get behind the jab, and we're seeing that jab out of him right now.
Dillon Carman, the Mississauga native, in red trimmed in white. Sergio Romano in the black trunks. And Carman coming over the top, throws the uppercut, ends up backing away.
Mouthpiece came out there.
Lost his mouthpiece on that one. Carman more of an upright fighter as well.
He is. He fights tall. And that could be, you'd like to see him maybe protect the chin just a little bit more. Maybe a little tighter to the shoulder. Right now, just got clocked with the left, answered with the right hand of his own. There are some wrinkles out of a young fighter in Dillon Carman that we'd like to see ironed out, but
that comes in time.
That comes in time.
Carman goes for the clinch again with Romano pushing him into the corner. Mark Simmons, the referee, breaks them up. They come back to the middle of the ring. Carman throwing the jab, trying to keep Romano at bay. Romano just trying to duck under that. And again, Carman throws from underneath. Here comes the uppercut. He follows it up with the big left.
Yeah, I love that uppercut. It may not be in the textbooks, but it's so natural and so flowing. And it's fun to see a guy throw a punch like that.
You know what? Definitely not in the textbook, like you said, but it's certainly keeping Romano off balance.
Keeping him off balance, it's an angle he hasn't seen before. I guarantee you he hasn't seen a guy throw that punch, but he just got caught by another left hand by Romano. Romano beginning to use that left.
And once again, Romano may have found an opening that Carman has to drop that, and he comes around with the left. He drops the hand low to throw that uppercut.
Yeah, long fighters, when they're flowing, tend to take a picture at the end of their punches. Maybe to admire their work a little too much. Maybe we're seeing that out of Dillon Carman in round 3.
Well, Romano being a little bit more aggressive here in round 3 than he was through the first 2 rounds.
We're seeing fatigue really beginning to step in with Dillon Carman right now. Breathing out of his mouth very heavily. The legs are like lead. The arms are falling. This is a real opportunity for Sergio Romano to make a big mark in this fight.
And that's what we talked about right off the get-go with the fact that Dillon Carman early on in his career may have just punched himself out in the
He is
first
on
round.
very wobbly legs right now. You wonder if Romano has enough of an arsenal to take advantage of a vulnerable fighter.
Well, Romano just got him with a right. Carman's trying to back up, throwing some jabs, but Romano keeps stalking, moving in on Dillon Carman. Carman backpedals, throws the jab again. A little slippage as he backs away again.
And these are why pro fighters, when they make their debut, only have to go 4 rounds. Because if this was a 6-round fight, you would know that everybody would be extremely fearful as to the outcome.
So round 3 in the books as Sergio Romano looks to acquit himself, coming through with a big round 3 compared to his first 2 rounds.
Absolutely. Hard round to score, though, because the effective punches were still being thrown by Dillon.
Let's go down to Michelle Storino at ringside.
Yeah, absolutely, gentlemen. I'm sitting actually in Dillon Carman's corner, and you can just hear his corner hollering, pump that jab, keep him on the outside like he was doing in that first round. He's getting a little bit tired, like you guys had mentioned, his mouth's a little bit open, and he's backing up with his hands down, chin up, which is not a very good combination in pro boxing. So they're definitely telling him to utilize that jab and that long reach and keep Sergio back on the outside. Guys?
Now, the question is, if you're a judge, how do you score that round? You give it to the aggressive fighter in Romano, who was still not landing the signature punches, but maybe was taking over the tenor of the fight, or he give it to the guy that was throwing the more effective punches in Dillon Carman.
But the key is, of the 4 big landing punches in that round, Romano had 3 of them.
Yes, good point, excellent point.
Carman knows to leave it all on the line right now in round number 4. By my books, Carman took the first 2 rounds with Romano taking the third. Do you have it to say?
You know, I actually have 3-0 for Dillon Carman. Good body shot by Carman there. But like I said, that third round was a swing round. It depends on how you view a fight. Right now, it's just a case of, if you're Dillon Carman, you just have to grit down and fight these last 3 minutes like it's the last year.
And Carman threw a big uppercut. Now he's trying to go over the top. Romano trying to jump in, knowing this is the 4th and final round, stalking Carman, but he backs up and throws a couple of big jabs to keep Romano at bay.
And I like the fact Romano is still coming forward, and I like the fact Dillon Carman is still throwing that jab. Finally, we're seeing some effective work by Romano on the inside when Carman's against the ropes.
Could be a little bit too little too late.
I think so.
As this 4th round is well into the 4th round, and Romano trying to come over top, and Carman lands a right hook. Carman doing a good job of slipping Romano and getting back, moving the fight back to the center of the ring.
Yeah, his footwork, it's slower than it was, but it's still steady, and it's still enough to keep the straightforward Romano confused at times.
They tie up along the ropes, and Carman just now throwing lefts and rights, and you can see how much heavy those hands are
Those
now.
hands are heavy, and you know what? if he had a more capable opponent in front of him, he would have been counted with those shots. But capable or not, Romano is tough and resolute.
He's taken a couple of shots right to the chin, but keeps moving forward. And that one over top. A nice job from Dillon Carman. Carman now with a little bit of energy as this fourth round is coming to a close. Staying away. Now he's going to tie things up along the ropes. And Sergio Romano again just pushing forward, trying to connect on that one big punch.
And perhaps the saving grace for Dillon Carman is the fact that he's tired, but he's still throwing in combinations. And it's that last punch that's keeping Romano off balance enough that he can't be countered.
Carman has Romano backing up. Carman against. That does it for the fourth and final round.
That was a good heavyweight fight.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds, we go to the scorecards. Judges Alistair Murray, Harry Davis, and Kelly Zoluchik all give the same rounds to the same fighter, 40-36 for the winner. And now undefeated by unanimous decision, Dillon Carman.
Dillon, congratulations. You seemed obviously very jacked up. After a fantastic amateur career with a ton of accolades, you now get your pro debut under your belt. How does it feel?
It feels great. It feels really good. And I got to thank one person. If anybody's ever dealt with cancer and lost somebody because of it, I got to thank my stepdad 100%. He's helped me out through my whole amateur career, and tonight he helped me out big time.
Now, how does it feel knowing that you get your first professional win in front of the hometown crowd here in Mississauga?
It feels great. Everybody's cheering. We put on a good show, right? Thank you.
Now, was the game plan, did you know Sergio was going to come in kind of barreling in, and did you want to keep him to the outside and just utilize that jab of yours?
We saw a couple fights on YouTube, and he was a pressure fighter, you know, big punches. We wanted to use the distance, use the reach, and I think we did okay.
Well, you did fantastic. Congratulations on being 1-0 right here at home.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Mississauga.
That's your winner, Dillon Carman, guys.
Well, Dillon Carman successful in his pro debut, winning all 4 rounds from Sergio Romano.
And as impressive as he was in the ring during the fight, equally impressive after the fight. Obviously an intelligent, thoughtful young man, and a guy that you definitely want to see again based on what we saw tonight.